Okay, perfect. Let me know once you can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's begin. Hello everyone, and welcome back. So, it's great to see so many of you joining us for this second session of Coding Agents in Action with UiPath. So today is going to be a little different from what we did in our first session. So this session is much less about presentations like we did in the first one, but more about seeing things happen live today. So over the next hour, you are going to watch our coding agent take on a task that you and I, like every automation developer, is familiar with. That is starting from our design document and helping us build something that eventually runs in UiPath Automation Cloud, all with the help of coding agent. Okay, so one of the biggest questions people ask when they see coding agents that I have seen is, that this looks impressive, but can I actually use it in my day-to-day automation projects, right? Is it actually useful for me, or does it actually consume my time usefully? So that's exactly the question we are going to answer today. So we are going to focus on practical execution and see how these coding agents fits into a real UiPath development workflow. So let's take a quick recap. So before we move forward, let's quickly revisit the key ideas that we got from the first session. So the first takeaway was understanding what makes a coding agent different from a chatbot, right? So a chatbot can answer your question, whereas a coding agent can inspect your project, it can modify your files, it can execute commands, validate those results, and continue improving the solution, right? The second takeaway was role of UiPath CLI, understanding what this UiPath CLI tool is. So the CLI gives the coding agent a way to interact with the UiPath ecosystem programmatically. So when I say that, without the CLI, an agent can only tell us what to do, right? But when you give it the CLI with it, the agent can actually perform many of those actions for you. Okay. Then the third thing that we understood was skills. So skills provide instruction that teach the agent how to perform those UiPath specific tasks correctly, right? The knowledge base or the context or the steps manual. Then rather than relying on general knowledge, so the agent now follow these structured guidance which are given from skill, and that general guidance could be from project creation, project validation, deployment, and other platform capabilities or operations that we'll see today. Okay. And finally, we ended with a live demonstration where we described an automation in natural language or with a plain PDD. And then we watched the coding agent generate a working UiPath solution. So at that point, we had proven something important, right? That the agent could build. But now we are ready for the next question. So can it build something closer to a real enterprise solution and help us move all the way into production in UiPath Cloud? So that is what today is about. So here is a brief agenda of what we are going to do today. So this single sentence that you see on your screen summarizes everything we are trying to achieve today. So we'll hand it a solution design document, or as many of us know it as an SDD, to a coding agent. So we'll let it plan, we'll let it build, and then we'll take that automation that it has built all the way to a governed process running in automation cloud. Okay, I think many of you would be interested in seeing this. So we'll notice how different this is from traditional automation development. So traditionally, the SDD is led by a developer. The developer creates the product structure, creates the workflows, he packages the solutions, deploys it, and then configures orchestrators and everything rest in middle, right? But today we are changing that interaction. So instead of you and I manually carrying out each of those steps ourselves, we'll be collaborating with these coding agents throughout this entire process lifecycle. So the important thing to remember when we are doing that is we are not asking the agent to blindly generate a workflow, right? We are asking it to understand a very detailed engineering document. So it is supposed to interpret those requirements, create an implementation plan, build the solution on that plan. It is also supposed to validate what it has built, right, against the requirement that we give, and then prepare it for deployment. So with that context set, I'll invite Mani to begin this demo for you. So, Mani,
Yeah,
all yours, buddy.
thanks. So let me bring my screen. So team, basically with the interest of time and token. So already I have created a blank RE framework project. If you will see under this framework example for process XAML, so nothing was placed. If you will go for any tal applications, nothing was there. So since I have already created this object repository using UiPath Cloud Fable 5, so now what we are trying to achieve means reading this STD, create this end-to-end UA automation for RPA challenge websites. Okay, so what it does, it will extract the selector from UiPath RPA challenge websites, then it will run through it. So already I have my prompt. So what I was giving means read my STD and within whatever project already RE framework has and describe the UA automation for the same. So in this, I am adding the trace log. Whatever plot is performing, it will be stored into this task trace.md file. Okay, so let me hit an enter. You will see how it is performing. Okay, so we'll wait for a couple of minutes, then I will walk you through the STD. So what is there, how it is performing. So here, if you will see, first it will identify the pattern. What are all the patterns was available or will required. Then it will go and run that cell command, default UiPath Fable 5 command. Then it will list down all the activities default. So here I have enabled an auto mode. There is a different mode which you can enable manual mode, planner mode, and rest of the modes. If you will enable manual mode, as a human, you have to give your inputs. You want to continue with this, creating the init all applications for configuring the your framework, yes or no. Like that, you have to give your inputs, then it is a human in the loop part, basically. So if you are enabling the planner mode, first, what it does means, basically it will read this SDD, then it will create a complete implementation of plan. So what are all the XAMLs are there, what are all the changes it is going to do, and what will be the final output. Like that, it will display over here. If you will click on continue, yes, then it will start creating your live capture UA automations. So here we are not going to capture any selectors or configuring file path, creating the queue. It's not going to happening manually. It will happen everything using in this particular prompt itself. If you will see it here, it is importing the data config file. What are all the name list was available? What are the fields? What are the assets? Configuration needs to be done. So which is already working on. See, this file is already exist for MD. This STD file, reading it directly. So now it is coming and reading this particular STD file. So if you will see once it was read, then everything is happening. It's just a Cloud Fable 5 command. So whatever command you are seeing, it will convert into a path activity directly. So here, if you will see print seat name and what are all the seat name, what are all the workbook, what are all the rows available, whether this value is the yes or no, true or false. If it is that, then it will go and interact with the UA automation. So let me bring that STD quickly. So let me open into preview. Yeah. So if you will see this STD, right? So RPA challenge here we have performing dispatcher performer concept. What is the process name? What is the target framework? What is the architecture and what is required in the orchestrator? So coming to here, you can see this is what business process overview. This is the URL and what are all the headers and examples. These are all the sample inputs. First name, last name, company name, role in the company. This example input which we have defined, and what are all the orchestrator folder structure, whether it's a SAD, what is the queue name, what is the assets, what is the file name. So now if you will see that architecture, high level architecture dispatcher performer, process will start, it will initialize the RE framework, then as it is, it will go to init stage, then it will load the config file or assets, then it will come to open the Chrome. Once the dispatcher is ready, then it will get the get transaction item and what are all the item was there, how many transaction was there, everything will be covered in this. If you will come state machine, so as it is. If you are already our RE framework, we have a 4 stages, right? So in this, first it will initialize this step, then it will get the transaction data from whatever added into queue, then it will go into process those transaction, then it will come and close all the application, it will end the process. So this is what high level what it is does. So if you will come that default RE framework folder structure, what are the structure available in this particular framework? Main.yaml, under data, we have a config.excel file. In the framework, we have a list of YAML file, which is called init all settings, all application, get transaction data, process YAML, set transaction state, close all application, kill all the process. In case if it is failing somewhere, it will take that screenshot and store it into the respective driver path. So in config file, we have a 3 sheets. One is if you will see what are all the queue names and orchestrator folders, what is the business process name, URL, everything. So if it is a schema for queue, what are all the things it will be added into queue means basically first name, last name, company name, role in the company, what are all the address, email, phone number, row index, everything. So this is component design detail, which will talk about the process flow in the UA automation. Once dispatcher will start, it will read using the rearrange activity. It will read that respective path. If data was available greater than 0, then it will proceed for the for each row in the data table. What is the name called DT data output? Then it will go and fetch the first name, whatever fields are there, it will fetch. Then it will add it into queue. Then dispatcher will end. So if you will come to performer process, so whatever was added in queue, it will fetch the queue item. It will process into it will launch the application. Then it will process all the relevant fields. Taking example, first name, last name, company name, role in the company. It will fill all those transaction in RPA challenge website one by one. If you are given 20 items in the Excel file, then it will update it into the RPA challenge site. It will submit. Each time it will open a fresh browser. So then automatically it will close all the applications. It will end the process. This is what we do have it in STD. So let me see where we are in currently. So if you will see some automatically if something is happening, automatically it will fix those errors. So right now it is happening for each file X. If you will see RPA challenge under, it is reading the system activities and creating the for each process. So coming to site. So if you will see, so as we all aware, or if you're not aware, this RPA challenge site, right? Each time this field may vary. It's a dynamically this field will pop up, right? So considering this automatically, whatever build was done by Claude or will be done by Claude, it is creating the dynamic selector as a wildcard. Okay. So wherever this field was available, automatically it will go and identify, it will fill those information exactly. So earlier we have done a traditional RPA. What have done normally, we will go and capture the selectors, elements, anchor, element edges. Then we have to change the selectors dynamically. Sometimes we will do it in within the property itself. Sometimes we have to open the UiPath Explorer. We have to remove the, let's say, index ID. We have to bring a name. So we have to customize it. If you're planning for pass through those selectors using the assigned variable, then you have to call that variable during the properties. There you have to ANM, you have to pass that variable. So here you don't want to do anything. So here automatically everything will be dynamic selector and wildcard. So automatically it will process end to end. So whatever you have done in the past, let's say UA automation simple process, if you took 2 days, okay, using this capability within high level, I'm telling, if like this simple process, within 1 hour you are able to complete the end-to-end development along with your unit testing. Imagine if you have done 2 days, now within 1 hour you are able to deliver your task. Okay, that quality of the outcome will be 98 percentage. Why? Means 2 percentage I kept it as a buffer. As per our needs, sometimes we will tweak the code and we will implement some of the best practices as per our standards, right? So for that, I'm committing 98 percentage, 2 percentage is the buffer. So here everything will be default configure. What is standard business exception as well as system exceptions. Everything will be created automatically, autonomously. So here, if you will see, it is started writing the code writing dispatcher innovation main dot XAML. It will go on to set up init all applications UI automation live capture. Then it will build the process XAML UI automation. Then it will validate the all the project build files. Basically workflow analyzer. The moment we have done the development, we are running that analyze the project workflow analyzer. We are running it, right? So whatever we have done manually, now everything is happening autonomously. So this is what Claude Fable 5, which is currently making the magics. So apart from this, if you want to, let's say, is it possible to create an object repository using Fable 5? Yes, it is possible. But due to, as we speak, due to token consumption as well as interest of the time, I skipped that part. Even you can create your PDD, STD, build, unit testing, and deployment autonomously using not only for Claude, any agent. If you are having Gemini, yeah, yes, Venu. Venu, yeah, yes, please go ahead. You have raised your hand, right?
I think it was a mistake. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So far, I have explained high level. Team, do you have any other questions or you want to get any clarification from our end? Please feel free to.
One question which I had, especially on the STD, Rajesh here. Um, I think I raised this question even during the previous meeting, right? Session one. That's what I meant. We
Okay.
can generate code even using a PDD, right?
Yes.
The only difference is, it makes a difference. And, I would like to understand, need your inputs on, how does it make a difference? Because, with the requirements also, we can generate the code, right? But here you showed us a very detailed design, right? Through which you are generating the code. So, which is a best approach? What would be a recommendation? What did you observe, right, from your experience?
So I can take this. So it's basically similar to what we as developers prefer, right? So in the last session, we showed workflow generation with the PDD because it was a very straightforward use case, not even a use case, just one simple XAML. But when it comes to developing actual enterprise projects, you prefer a detailed documents with all the functional requirements, with all the business exceptions, rules, things to take, things to take care of, right? You prefer a detailed document when you build an automation end to end for yourself, right? So, and that's the same thing with any AI or any agent also, right? How the output of the any AI or agent depends on how well your prompt is structured. So if you and PDD gives you the requirement at a very high level. It has some workflows, it has some diagram, but those are not detailed when it comes to creating a project out of it, right? So you need a good solution design document for that. So it's the same thing with you and I as developers. We need a detailed SDD to create an project. So does the agent. It can create with the PDD also, but it may miss out on some critical, edge cases here and there.
Got it. Yeah. Thanks. That was helpful. Only other point was there's a model, there are so many models in the market. There is
Mm-hmm.
GPT code generation models. There are so many models available in the market. There are open source
Mm-hmm.
models. How do
Yeah.
you choose the model for, such a task, right? I mean, you go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
try with different models and you choose the one that works, or how do you, want us to approach this? Which model to use?
Uh,
Model selection.
So it boils down to the type of task you're performing. So when it comes to things where are very related to developer kind of task, code generation kind of task that we are doing here. So I personally have found Opus family, Opus 4.8, and now even Fable as well, working very well with that, but someone might have a different choice, right? So, and it also comes down to trial and error. So in my trial and error, I've used codex with GPT models, Opus models with Claude. So for particularly for code generation, I prefer Opus, but yeah, there is also personal preference attached to it.
Sure. Thanks. Thank
Yeah, so Rajesh, Rajni's already tried with Opus 4.8. So for this particular live demo, I'm using Fable 5. So how we are comparing those models?
Yeah. I Manikandan, sorry.
Yeah,
What is the
Deepak.
like subscription plan you have taken both for Opus
Pro,
and Pro?
Pro.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Did you face
monthly,
any token exception somewhere? Like monthly, right? It will update the token or like just
see,
order.
it's depends upon how you are utilizing your tokens, right? Let's say for this particular, I have a subscriptions. Okay. So because of that, I'm able to switch my accounts. Hardly per
Okay.
month, 5K I'm spending.
Okay. Got
If
it.
I want to utilize my token with single account, you have to decide what is your purpose. Let's say I have a subscription, I will go and do this, that, and all. If you will do, obviously there is a limit.
Okay. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Thank you.
Smart answer is you use the agent for the difficult task, right? Like
Yeah.
capturing requirement, creating documents. You can use lower models, and for hardened task, you can use the good code generation models just to standardize or use your tokens in the right way. Yeah, Divya, you have a question?
A very interesting and a detailed session. Thanks to all of you here. I have two questions to Manigandan or Rajneesh. First
Yeah.
thing
Mm-hmm.
is, it's a follow up question to what Rajesh raised. Is there any benchmark towards the model? Say, for example, if your use case is more predominant in UI automation, are you referring us towards Opus 4.8? And for a different data driven heavy use case, would you want me to pick up a different model?
Mm-hmm.
Trial and error is something very expensive effort in
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
enterprise,
yeah, yep.
right? So, any
Mm-hmm.
such benchmarks in terms of model selection, focusing more towards the type of automation?
See, since this capability of generating workflows within UiPath, like working with UiPath ecosystem is comparatively new. So that benchmark is something that with as time elapses and different people try these out and we see different results coming out of, then that benchmark is something that UiPath itself would give us as developers to as a standard, right? Like, if you're creating UI heavy automation, use this particular model. This is the best. If you're creating background heavy automation, use this model. But that standardization is yet to happen. But from what I have heard and I have seen, Cloud with Opus family models has been producing the best results internally within the company as well.
Great. Across the types of automations, is
Yeah,
it?
across all types of suite of automations that UiPath builds. Not only
Great.
RPA, but those agents and maestro flow, those sort of thing as well.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
Divya,
second.
in case if you're going for mainframe automation,
Mhm.
during that time, Opus 4.8, that cyber security, everything it will block. So it will automatically reroute to Fable 5. As of now, in case tomorrow if they will release any other new model, then it will reroute to those models based off my personal experience, what I have tried.
Okay, great. Thank you. So my second question, like say for example, I pick up a use case. We have a detailed SDD, but the moment when we start developing a piece of workflow, there might be 2 to 3 different approaches. Either I could use LinkU, or I could
Mm-hmm.
use a different invoke code methodology, whatever the case be, depending upon the user's interest. I mean, the developer's interest. Is there a way I could force the agent as well go that way, specifically through the SDD? What I am trying to understand is there something around the context that we can push? I understand Vivek had a response to my question in the chat that we can impose the coding standards, but that again will be part of the prompt or the skills.md. Pushing
Mm-hmm.
everything towards a single file might be difficult for
Mm-hmm.
us
Mm-hmm.
to maintain,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just wanted to hear your thoughts.
So this is the question is more related around best practices here. So what I would suggest is you as a developer or you within your automation team could standardize your automation best practices, maintain them in as a scale as an MD file, and then use it across your team. That so whenever an agent fires up in order to create an automation, that is the first skill that is invoked or called by agent in order to have the context of those best practices. That when dealing with Excel manipulation, use lake instead of filter data table, something those kind of rules.
Okay, so by any chance, do we have a dedicated skill pointing to automation ops?
Yeah, there is a UiPath platform skill that we'll show in the later part of this demo after money is done.
Great. Thank you. All good.
Okay, we'll take one more question from Ashish and then we'll continue with the demo. And you can feel free to post your questions in the chat.
Yeah, I had one question like, can we try this setup using OLLAMA as well? Have you guys give it a thought on using OLLAMA, since we will have option to use some other models as well along with the existing, right? So I was just curious about that. Uh,
I mean,
yeah, it will not
technically,
probably not work in Studio, I guess, but
no,
uh,
I mean, technically, don't take my word for it, but I think that setup should be possible unless the only requirement is you have a coding agent that allows you to, bring in your own model. I'm not sure if open code, which is the open source coding agent, allows you to do that. But yeah, that is a setup that maybe you can try and let us know.
That feasibility check, basically we have to run through it. Then we will get to know.
o- okay.
Mm.
Yeah, because currently when I check the skills, like the skill in the GitHub page also, it is reroute, like it's saying it is compatible with Claude, Gemini, Codex and all, but the other models are not listed. So is that might give us some other answers, I believe. So it would be a good try. Like, I'll check if it is possible.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
But yeah, I
yeah,
just wanted to know your thoughts as well on that. So
yeah.
we can
We
continue.
can connect Ashish later, like we have done.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay, Mani, can go ahead.
Yeah. So right now it is capturing. See here, if you will see whatever was existing YAML file, so it will go and correct that UI elements for new. Currently it is running process.yaml. So whatever existing code was there, now it is updating into the latest UI automation. So let's say first name, last name, everything is updating through this command. So once it will done, then automatically it will perform the testing as well, unit testing. So still it's running. So let's wait for a couple of minutes. So let me bring the what we are done so far, the trace. So basically how it will works. This is my previous run file. If you will see, this is what trace log. So user message, I have given a general prompt. What it does, it will go and confirm the project root and what are all the YAML file was there, and it will read that std, then it will pitch in into the framework YAML listing all the YAML file. Then it will classify the clarification. Claude will continue. Then it will come into the commands run. What needs to be done? Project root. What are all the parts will be there? Whether login or logout, setting up the UI elements, everything it will be done. So once everything will set, if you will see here, specifically if you will see in this, right? So whatever was updated, it will give you the final conclusion. So for this is what currently it's going on. So let me close this. Let me bring my previous one. So here, if you will see, it's reading the STD, then it is fetching all the YAML file. See, this is what as we speak, I was telling to you, right? If you will enable your planner mode, it will give you the complete audit result. So what are all the files was there? What is the status and what are all the things it has been done and what are all the changes it does? What are all the fixes applied and how it is working in this Cloud Fable 5 model? What are all the new things was implemented? Attach mode, by instance, open mode, never. So then close mode always, WebDriver mode, dev tools, and what are all the fix it has been done default, and the environment login checks, what is user mail ID, everything. So once it is done, it will run through end-to-end validations. Run. This is the command which it is running, and it will start from initialization to up to transaction successful. Then it will perform the performer. If there is a transaction, it will launch the site, it will update as it is. And here, if you will see what are all the acceptance criteria which we have given. Created 10 queue items, confirmed in the log, dispatched 10 queue items, same rain queue complete 10 submission on browser, so it is confirmed. 10 out of 10, transaction was successful. Success banner rate 100%, STP as well as success rate, straight through process and success rate. So final, all STD required cleanly submission successfully. This bot ran successfully. This is what that Cloud Fable by generally it does using for UA automation. So 1 minute, let me go back to my, yeah, it started debugging. Yeah, see if you will see, it started. Oh, so this can be done while debugging. 1 minute. So let me close my VSSTD. Let me give a rate. Yes. It's interacting. So again, it will go on fix because I was interacting, right? Again, it will go and fix all those issues. Then it will start running from scratch. So it was created end-to-end RE framework AI automations. Now, due to my interaction, it is find out some issues. So now it is fixing. So once it will be fixed automatically, it will run the bot. See, in case in your organization level, if you are planning for this, then you have to see all the permutation and combinations, how much time it will take. Here, within one, let's say within 20-25 minutes, we are able to build. Why? Because everything, some of the pre-checklist which we have already built, like object repository, setting up the cloud, everything we have done before starting this session due to interest of the time as well as token consumption. When you are starting from scratch, it will take quite some time. So you have to wait for it. See here itself it is saying that as of now, not 4K tokens was consumed for this particular smoke test with UiPath RPA debug. Overall, it is running 30 minutes, 17 seconds. So let's see. Let's wait for another 5 minutes since Rajnish also has to cover test and deploy
Yeah,
part.
please feel free to unmute and ask question meanwhile.
Yeah,
In a real-time scenario, when we develop a solution for a moment, let's assume, right? We might end up using multiple skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a separate skill for RPA workflow, separate skill for agents, separate skill for flows, etc. Right?
Yep, yep.
Um, so how do we do that, right? I mean, like whatever we have detailed in the SDD,
Mm-hmm.
based on that, um, AI will go ahead and pick and
Mm-hmm.
the relevant skills right from the skills repo and go about developing the solution. Just try to understand how it
Mm-hmm.
works.
So, like how skill invocation is work is like skill, as I mentioned in the last session, is nothing but an MD file, right? So, how agents understands when to use what skill is in the context of the skill itself. So, at the start of each skill file, there is a brief description written for the agent to understand when to invoke or when to call the skill. Okay. So agent already has that context, that for doing this task, I'm supposed to invoke this skill, and for doing this task, I'm supposed to invoke this skill. So at runtime itself, when and where that needs arises, at that time only that particular skill is invoked from its skill repository. I hope that answers your query.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay. Okay. And for people who are asking for the SDDs and the PDD, though I've given it in the chat, if you're not able to download, don't worry. I'll put it in a GitHub repo and put the link in the same program page in the community, so you can download it from there. Okay. Okay. In the interest of time, money, I can take it. I think I can take it over from here. Let your cloud
yeah,
rest and fire up mine.
sure, sure.
Okay.
So this code I will upload into GitHub. I will give it to Rajni so that he will give you this code link as well. So you can go through it, how it was created and what are all the changes it was done.
Okay, guys. Let me know if you can share my screen. You can see my screen. Sorry. Yes, no?
Yes.
Orchestrate.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's missing.
Okay, perfect. So, in today's session and even the last session, the major capabilities what we have seen is on planning and building side, right? We give requirements and let the agent plan and build those automations for you. But there are also other capabilities in the whole life cycle, right? From deployment, license management, resource management, monitoring. So I want to focus on that now, because that would be more interesting for folks who do all of these tasks. So I have the same automation, the same copy of RP challenge automation that Money was trying to build. And instead of doing these things from UiPath's terminal, many people were asking last session also that do I really need the latest UiPath Studio version in order to use the terminal? And so let's use our basic terminal from CMD. Okay, so I fired up my Claude here in the same directory where my project lives. So I'll be firing up commands from here. And before that, let me give you what is there and what is not there in my orchestrator. So by the way, this is a community edition of Cloud. So I have two folders. One is shared. In shared, I have a default robot. In machines, I have the default cloud robots machine. If I go in the resources, in automations, under processes, I have quite a few processes. There is one RP challenge, which I used earlier for testing. Okay, and under assets, I have one asset. Let's see, queues. I have one queue as well, which is not related to this process. So the first thing let's do is okay. I saw many people asking last time, can it create asset? Can it create queues? So let's do that only first. Let us create an asset from command. So I'll say create an asset of type integer, give it a name counter, and assign it a value 0. Okay. Then I saw one more question like, can you have multiple sessions running, do multiple things simultaneously? So let me bring up one more terminal again in the same directory. So now let's create a queue for the process that we are going to deploy, right? So I'll fire up one more command stating that create a queue in shared folder with the name RP challenge, RP challenge queue. So, okay, let's see. You see for doing platform specific task, it has loaded the right skill, which is UiPath platform. Let me go back here, monitor my queues. Okay, the queue is created, but the asset is taking a lot of time. I can understand because the command is very vague. I'm not given where to create and how to create. So let me clarify my command. So I'll say create this asset of type this and this in shared folder. Okay, let's say orchestrator as well, so that the thinking is narrowed down. Okay, let's check the queue first, whether it has created. Okay, so the queue has created, right? Now let's go back and check on assets. And meanwhile, I'm doing this, so you feel free to interrupt me anytime and ask any question. Okay, since our queue is ready, what I'll do is the project that I have here locally in my system, RP challenge, I'll ask it to package it into a Nugget package and deploy it on Orchestrator and then publish it into my shared folder. Right now, I don't have this in my shared folder. So I'm telling it in this right terminal. Okay, the asset is created. Let's check this also. Come to assets. You see asset created under name counter, type integer, value 0. So this is how things when it comes to platform ops becomes easy and easy. You just have to fire up prompts instead of doing all those UI navigations. Okay, so Right now, our deploy command is running. So in order to run this automation, we also need machines and runtimes, right? So let's check if we have some machines available. So on my left hand side, I'm firing up asking what machines have no runtimes allocated. We can go back to automations and monitor this section. So we are expecting a process named RPA challenge to be created here with the deploy command that we have just given here. Okay, so I have two machines. One is the serverless machine and one is my personal workspace. Okay, so since this is an UI automation, what to do? Let's use my personal workspace, right? So I'll say add my machine, which is, so I'll say add my machine to the shared folder and also assign one unattended runtime to it. So let's see this as well. Go back to orchestrator, open a new tab. Come to folders, shared, and I'll monitor this section to get a machine with a license allocated. Okay, both commands are running. Meanwhile, do we have any questions in the chat or if you want to unmute? Hmm, are you using any skill related to token economy? No, not for these sessions. Kenneth is asking, how are you authenticating with Orchestrator? So it is via the UiPath CLI tool. So that is a one-time task. So when you fire up CLI for the first time, you run UIP login, and that does the authentication for you with your cloud account with your user. Okay, I see the machine has been allocated. I see one production unattended runtime is also assigned to it. So that worked perfect. Let's come back to processes and check. Okay, process is still being deployed. Yeah, the machine part is done. Let's wait for a process to come onto the cloud and then we'll run it from here as a job. Any more capabilities you guys may have doubt that can it do this or can it do that or you may want to see it now. Okay, my published prompt is also completed. Let me go back and check. If I refresh this, yeah, the process is actually published on the tenant and then published as a process as RPA challenge here. So now it is available for me to run. So let's not do it from here. We'll do it from the prompt
Here,
itself.
Rajneesh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hi, this is Akshay. You asked like if we would like to try one more anything with the coding agent in your cloud code console, right?
yep,
Can
yep.
you can you actually ask it to create like a workflow analyzer rule, which will be applicable for the UiPath Studio that you are running?
Okay. And what would that rule would be anything?
Just check like the variable type, data table should start with the keyword DT. And
Mm-hmm.
if it is not, it should let you know in the console maybe that how many variables are not actually following that analyzer rule. I'm just trying to think for a use case
Mm-hmm.
because the workflow analyzer doesn't give you all the rules, and there are
Mm-hmm.
several code review guidelines that people still have on the manual side.
Yep, correct, correct. Okay. So let me just check the capability first because nobody can know all the skills or all the
Yeah,
capabilities it can do.
even I have not explored
Mm-hmm.
the skill which
So
works with the workflow analyzer. Yeah.
so I've just fired up that command asking it like, can it create workflow analyzer rules?
Yeah.
I know it can check them and validate the automation on that, but I also don't know if it can create on its own. So let me see if it has any such relevant skill for that. Meanwhile, I've also given it the command to actually start an unattended job for me in my machine. So let's see if that works. This is the first
Yeah,
time
thank
I'm
you. Yeah.
running this automation like unattended from command. So it says the automation is triggered. If I go to jobs, it is triggered and I can see the automation being fired up. So I think this is pretty cool, right? Browser has been fired up. Yeah, it has been fired up. Mm, I'll go back to your question because I have to check the cloud response, but the control has been taken by the UI automation. If you have anything else you would like to
No, no,
ask.
no problem. I'm also interested to see what does the skill has given you the reply, but let this unattended flow get finished.
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, do we have any other questions? Okay, quite intelligent crowd then.
Internally, Rajneesh, do you guys have
Mm-hmm.
any token calculator that you are making use of?
No.
No.
Why no? Because the subscription that we are using are like it's our own cloud code subscription. Maybe it could be a personal cloud code or it could be an enterprise cloud codes, right? So that is not something that is being tracked by the platform from UiPath itself. So that would be something external that you would have to see and monitor.
Yeah, absolutely correct. I was just curious, like if you guys have explored that area from the community side, that
Mm-hmm.
working on like a token calculator so far, which has been successful in predicting once the STD analysis and all are going on. But all right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the automation is finished, job is finished. To come back to your query, let me see what it has given.
So it's not the author, not the CID, and
Mm,
can you go up on the table in the second row?
can
What did it say? Yeah,
uh
this one. Write a brand new custom rule.
so it can write like not it cannot rewrite or write on top of the existing analyzer, but it can write a custom C sharp library for you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that we can do from any other AI assistant.
Another yeah,
Yeah,
assistant, yeah.
exactly. That
Hmm.
skill is not there, but okay.
Good
Yeah,
feedback. I can share. I'll make sure to pass this on.
yeah. I've already sent it to UiPath, but I thought maybe you guys in the community would have something more. But thank you for trying.
So we only propagate what already is there from UiPath, but yeah, let me push this request.
Thanks, man.
No problem. So yeah, I guess we have seen a lot of things from platform point of view. We commissioned a machine, assigned a license, we created an asset, we created a queue, we even ran an unattended job just via prompts and everything. So I guess that gives a lot of perspective and capabilities that are possible with these coding agent with all of the skills that we have. So with that, and in the interest of time, let me just give a quick recap what we have seen today. So we took our SDD, our design document, detailed our requirement thoroughly in it, and we saw all the phases that happens in an automation project or any project lifecycle for that matter, right from plan in, build in, check in, validating the solution that we have created. We even deployed it, and saw live run as well, all with coding agent and command. So yeah, with that said, we have the last piece of puzzle in this series that we have created for you. So if you are in Bangalore and if you are interested in trying out a challenge with any of these coding agent, so we have something called as automation rescue challenge. So we'll give you a solution, a UiPath solution, a broken UiPath solution, in fact, and you're supposed to find all the bugs in it, uh, maybe create a feature that we ask you on the go, and then bring it on cloud. So yeah, that this would be a whole day thing, a fun thing. So if you are in Bangalore, if you are interested in coming along, feel free to scan this code. We'll also post the link in the chat. You can come up as individuals or you can team up with one other partner. We have few exciting goodies for the winners. So yeah, it would be a fun Saturday. Feel free to join. Now, yeah, I guess we are dot on time. So all open for Q&As. Feel free to unmute. Meanwhile, I can take questions on chat as well. And if you are still trying out, like this is the first time you are seeing these capabilities trying out on your own, so you have questions, you want answers, have doubts or are stuck anywhere. So these are our LinkedIn QRs, so you can connect with us. Feel free to contact me, Mani or Vivek anytime. We'll be happy to help you.
One question, Rajneesh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a you know percentage of you know percentage that you would commit, right, on this, right? It's 80%. It does 80% of the job, and all I have to do is 20%, or it's 90%. All I have to do is only 10%, because it looks like pretty much it
Mm-hmm.
does
Everything.
the job clean, does the job
Mm-hmm.
neat. It
Mm-hmm.
deploys
Mm-hmm.
it in orchestrator. You just ran it. It ran fine.
Mm-hmm.
And even the deployment process and orchestrator centric activities like queue creation, most of the things we are
Mm-hmm.
able to do it using the MCP connector. So from
Mm-hmm.
your experience, right, is there a productivity, developer productivity that you will commit on this, right? That it is 90%, 80%, or what percentage is it? What did you observe?
So from platform ops point of view, like interacting with orchestrator, resource management, license and everything, I have seen close to 100% result, but you please don't quote me on that. But
Sure, yeah.
because these operations are quite straightforward, right? You specify what you want to do where. If you want to create a policy, you tell policy create for this tenant in the for these user and so on. So the commands that gets created underneath it with the UiPath CLI are also straightforward. You can view and I can do those manually also by opening up terminal and writing these commands, but those are quite complex command. The way agent figure this out is via natural language. So the translation when doing these platform ops task and the commands that get created are quite straightforward. So there is very less chance of any error or any deviation being taken by agents. So the accuracy rate is quite good when it comes to doing platform ops. When it comes to development, again, it's a to and fro process. It is as good as the requirement that you give to it, and then the agent always comes back to you, asking for clarification and any improvements to do on.
See, when you are implementing in first time, you can keep it for like 80-20 ratio. Why? Because in organization level, I am telling you have to consider your security policies, H- HLD, LLD, everything, right? So how good that your prompt engineering as well as your documents, based upon that you will get that accuracy. Here we have worked on those, what we have given the exact what we need. Because of that, we have achieved 100%. So similar kind of the thing, if you're planning to do it in your organization, so your document and your prompt should be very crisp and clear.
Got it. Yeah. That is it. Thanks.
Yeah, and for the Saturday challenge itself, for people asking, do you need your own Cloud Codex subscription? Yes. that would be
You need it.
from your side. Yep.
Prerequisite.
So as prerequisite, you need UiPath Studio latest version. You need your own Cloud or Codex or whatever
Subscribe.
agent you are using subscription. And what else? I guess that's it, right, Mani?
Yeah, that's it. Your laptop
Yep.
and latest version, your cloud subscription. And please set up your cloud as well in your machines.
Yeah, please set up. If
Yeah.
it's good if you set up the skills and everything as well, but if not, we can help you there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we are.
Sorry, can you please put in this chat? I missed it. So, Sumita, what you want? Saturday hackathon prerequisites. Okay.
A quick question from my side. This is Mayank here. So let's say,
Yeah, Mac.
like I'm working in JP Morgan and we are not allowed to use Cloud Code directly within the UiPath Studio as of now.
Okay.
So what is the other way around for this one? Like we had the Copilot integrated
Mm-hmm.
earlier, but not the Cloud Code right now.
Do you have Copilot?
We have Copilot.
Then you can use Copilot CLI in the
Okay.
same
So
in
will
the
it?
same manner you use Cloud Code. I mean, the agent can be anything. Only thing
Mhm.
that you need from UiPath side is the UiPath CLI tool and those skills.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So the Copilot works with the same accuracy as Cloud
Yeah.
Code.
Yes, yes.
From accuracy point of view, I won't comment. I mean, that is something you
I
can
mean,
try
like,
and figure out. But capability point of view, yeah, Cloud Code works, Copilot, CLI, Gemini, CLI,
mhm.
Open Code, Cursor, every agent is supported.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'll wrap up the session for today. Thank you guys for joining, and I expect to see many of you on Saturday. And for the rest of the folks, feel free to reach out to us for anything. Okay, thank you all. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.